Hello. Today, I wanted to talk about something a little more positive. Now, I think the whole COVID-19 pandemic is a joke. I've said many times. I think that, excuse me, that the death rate is, as I said yesterday, I think it was, that the death rate is clearly basically just a glorified flu, that this is being massively overdone. But having said that, I'd like to try and look at today any good points that have come from the pandemic shutdowns. Excuse me. There's a lot of bad things that have come from it, of course, but there's some hope, maybe some good things. One of them is I'm almost completely against daycare. I think that especially for preschoolers, I think the ages 0 to 5 are the most important years and most formative years in a child's life. And to throw a child in daycare during that period is can be very, very harmful on a child, in my opinion. And I know a lot of child psychologists feel the same way. But in this case, there'll be more children who are not going to be in daycare because of this, because of the shutdown, the COVID-19 lockdown shutdowns. So there may be families that parents that say, you know what, I'd like my children being at home. I don't want them to go to daycare anymore. I don't think that'll happen to many, but some might decide it's they want them to stay at home from now on. And I'm almost positive some at least will decide they'd rather have them at home. So maybe that could be a good thing. Of course, if they're bad parents, then they're just going to screw them up more. But I mean, they were going to do that anyway. So some good can come out of that. Maybe less children in daycare. I don't think there'll be more, so there'll probably be less. Um, I think another thing is more businesses and workers getting used to working from home, especially I guess white collar, but others too. They've been forced to work at home and they've adapted, and in many cases it's worked out. So now they can. I think you'll find that. I think what'll happen is more companies will realize they can have their workers work from home, which can save money, save time. It's better for the workers. So they don't have to commute to work. So that's good. That could be. I think that'll be a good thing. And as well as that, I think since air travel's been cut way back, again, I think businesses will find, you know what, we don't need to travel like we did now and 30 years ago. There's no reason why we can't do this via, conference calls by Zoom and the other things. Do a conference call, do online chat. You don't need to actually fly there. So I think that'll actually help in the long run. Force people to get used to not flying everywhere for business reasons. Um, Now this next one, I don't think this will. I think this will go back right to the way it was. But I put down doctors diagnosing patients from home. I had a couple of things. No, I had one thing, something minor, and then I had a prescription I wanted to get refilled, and I just called my doctor, and she did it online. I mean, over the phone, which to me is a big. And my niece, and she had a problem with her hand, and and I said, why don't you just call the doctor and have her do it over the phone, and she did, and she sent doctor a picture of her hand because it would had some psoriasis, and the doctor sent her some cream that she picked up from the what do you call it, from the pharmacy, and it cleared right up. And she has little young children, and she didn't want to and she says it was much better because I didn't have to it's have to take these young children to the doctor's office and wait and then go in, and it's a bit of a hassle. So this was much easier for her. I doubt they will keep this going even after the shutdowns are over, but I hope they do, at least partly, because there's some things you really don't need to go to the doctor to see. I mean, you really don't. They could just be done over the phone, especially if I'm gonna get a prescription renewal and I have to go in to see the doctor. I mean, of course, the doctors won't. Of course, the doctors get paid if you go in, so I just realized that. So That was probably a stupid one. But if they're allowed to charge for if the doctors are allowed to charge for a phone consultation, if the insurance or the governments, whichever they work for, allow that, then I think they will do it from home, over the phone, because it saves them time, and they make the same amount of money. So hopefully this will. I just realized that. So hopefully that will happen. I hope it will, because that would make it easier. Because there's a lot of things you really don't need to go to the doctor for. Again, for a simple prescription renewal or something minor that's like, you got a boo-boo on your hand, or, like, not boo-boo, but like that, my niece's psoriasis. I mean, or, if I have something minor, I mean, I don't need to drive into the doctor to see them. I can take a picture of it, send it to them over the phone, and they can see it. And I think that should be the way of the future anyway. So hopefully that will facilitate that. We'll have to see. And the last one is online shopping. Now, this is a double-edged sword. More online shopping, obviously, I think is the future. That means less brick and mortar stores. That means lots of jobs lost. But at the same time, it saves money. I mean, clearly online shopping's the future. And it's much simpler. So this will just probably facilitate that even more and angle businesses more towards online shopping, which I think helps, less costs for people, easier to set up for businesses. I think that's a good thing, and it's a way of the future anyway, probably. So, gives us a taste of what is to come. Yes, it'll hurt brick and mortar stores, but they're kind of dying anyway. So maybe it's good that's facilitated, that's sped up, so the inevitable happens quicker. Of course, I realize a lot of bad things happening from that as well, but a lot of unemployment things. But when it comes to people, modernization hurting employment, they've been saying that for like 150 years. Oh, modernization and automation is going to hurt employment, and it still hasn't. So I don't think it's ever going to. Anyway. So I just want to say some positive things I think will hopefully come from the lockdown, shutdown, whatever that's called. So thank you for listening, and have a good day.